Quran was sent to mankind to guide us all the way to the day where we'll be asked what we did in our life to make it that way. So we need to be ready and prepared.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah waliyus salihin. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Dear brothers and sisters, viewers, welcome to Sunnah Style. Beautiful show that deals with the issues of the Muslim youth today in the 21st century, living in today's culture, dealing with all the problems that sometimes they're hard to be addressed, hard to reach out to the community, to the elders, to people to understand this, subhanAllah. And myself, alhamdulillah, I still consider myself one of the youth, so I'm trying to link to you, to talk to you, to discuss to you about these issues. Now, if you're just joining us, I urge you, please tell your friends, tell your family, tell the people, the brothers, the sisters, whoever you have, go on Twitter or go on Facebook, put it up. You know, Sunnah Style is out there talking about these issues. This is someone listening to you, hearing you. And I'm taking a lot of these suggestions from Facebook, people that have posted on my page, and you can go and check the page, Gabriel Al-Romaani, that's Al-Romaani, R-O-M-A-A-N-I. And you can see the comments and what the people have posted and follow with me, inshallah, and even send questions and so on so we can discuss even more. As I said, subhanAllah, a lot of these issues are inspired from my own experiences, from seeing how the youth are dealing with these issues, from being a teacher and my students, talking to them, talking to different youth all over the world actually, subhanAllah, receiving many emails and messages. The people, they want to be here. The youth want to be here. The youth are somehow pulled away these days from Islam by so many distractions. You got music on one side that we already talked about. We have the gang lifestyle that we talked about. We have the dating, boyfriend, girlfriend, so on. There's so many attractions. These attractions are pushing them and pulling them, and they are confused. They are somehow in a place of confusion where should I go? What should I do? Is there anyone to guide me? And of course, we say the best guidance comes from the Quran and Sunnah. This is the purpose of this show. We want people to experience and to understand the beauty of Islam, to come back to the deen, to find purpose in this deen, subhanAllah, in this beautiful deen. Today's show, brothers and sisters, or I should say more sisters, it is dedicated for you, the sisters. And I want you to please give me your heart, your mind, your soul, and not misunderstand me. Okay? I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm not trying to cause any harm or any damage. But I want you to think about what I will say today. Okay? This show is entitled, Those Who Shake and Move. Those Who Shake and Move. Okay? Kasiyatun Ariyat. And this is a hadith of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ about some of the signs of the Day of Judgment. And he ﷺ said that there will be some women who are Kasiyatun Ariyat. مائلات مميلات لا يدخلن الجنة ولا يجدن ريحها وإن ريحها لتوجد من مسيرة كذا وكذا. يعني that they shake, يعني كاسيات أريات. They are dressed but they're not really dressed. يعني this is very hard to translate, subhanAllah, but basically they are dressed but they're not dressed. مائلات مميلات. يعني they are misguided and they misguide, subhanAllah. They will not enter Jannah. Now this is a very serious thing. And they will not smell its fragrance, even though its fragrance can be smelled from so and so far. Subhanallah. Now, I know that a lot of people might have questions. They might be like, what is this? Oh my God. So please, let's discuss this issue and have patience. And all I want you is to think about it. Right? I want you to think about these points. Point number one. And brothers should follow as well, because brothers will also be addressing this, because they themselves are suffering by the effects of this. Without a doubt, the Muslim sisters, majority or a lot of them, let's say, of course not all, alhamdulillah, walillah alhamd, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed many of the sisters to follow the proper concept of hijab and to cover and protect themselves for the sake of Allah. However, in a culture that is spreading with internet, TV, YouTube, Twitter and so on and so forth, pictures everywhere, videos of who is successful, who is, who influences, who is popular. Our own sisters have turned to a certain way of modifying the hijab, or sometimes even leaving the hijab fully, so they can fit in this new modern lifestyle in the name of being modern, and so on and so forth. Now, I want to start by asking this question: where is the real beauty? And what is real beauty? Today's magazines and the media dictate how women should look, right? We look at the fashion magazines, we look at these catwalks that, subhanAllah, happen in fashion shows, that a woman, or a beautiful woman, a model, should look like this. Now imagine the mind of that young Muslim sister when she goes and sees these magazines, she sees these shows, she sees that these people are the successful people, or so on. She'll start thinking that this is the real image of beauty. Hence, she will try to change her own image. She will look in the mirror and she'll say, well, I don't really look like that. And subhanAllah, she might be beautiful in her own way, and she might be very beautiful, while she thinks that she's not beautiful. I'm looking at this and I think I should look like this, or my nose is not that good, and my hair should be this color, I should look like this or like that, I want to be like that. And sometimes not even thinking that this the effects come from the media, or from the music, or from things that we talked about before. So she will actually try to change that look. Now, who are behind these magazines? Well, people who are trying to sell something, people who understand. Actually, subhanAllah, in these corporations and organizations, there's psychologists who are studying trends. They do studies on what might be considered beautiful, what is the trend that people would follow, which actress or actor can we exploit, or which part of the movie or the commercial or the song can we infiltrate our ideas and our messages. And as we talked in previous shows about the music and how it has that effect to change and infiltrate the thinking and ideas. So what is real beauty? I ask you, sister, what do you think real beauty is? Some women now will find these models, the concept of the model. She's as beautiful as a model. These sometimes very skinny, and they look at themselves and maybe they're, alhamdulillah, they're healthy or something. And then they'll starve, literally, they will starve themselves. They'll go to that extreme of starving themselves, and they'll suffer from what's called anorexia. Okay? They'll eat sometimes and they'll go and puke it outside. They will say, no, I'm fasting, or no, I'm watching my my silhouette, my diet, and so on and so forth. And they'll literally starve themselves. And this has so many damaging effects, not on just the body, but also on the psychology of the person. Why? Because let's face it, no one will look like those people in the magazine. Actually, the reality is that a lot of times these pictures are enhanced. These pictures are photoshopped. The makeup and the amount of things that these people go through. Subhanallah, and there was documentaries that showed that what these models have to go through, and sometimes how young they are. And a 30-year-old woman who had children and so on and so forth might be looking at them like, oh, I need to be like her. And she'll starve herself, and this will affect her family, will affect her relationship with her husband and her kids and her family at large. And she'll feel that, and she'll never be able to reach that type of position, subhanAllah, to look like that. So psychologically speaking, this will damage her, because she will feel like, I'm falling short from this. I can't be like that. She'll try different things now, and now it'll go into the physical aspect. She will undergo surgical procedures sometimes. And recently, subhanAllah, I was reading in the newspaper just about a month ago about a woman in her late 20s. Imagine it. But she had 2 kids and so on, and she felt, subhanAllah, that she should look more like these women in these musalsalat, these shows, the image of the beautiful woman. And she started undergoing surgeries, and she removed certain fat from her body, and even, subhanAllah, and there was a mistake in some of the surgical procedures, and she died as an effect of that. Subhanallah. So she was trying to change the way she looked. Subhanallah, and look where it ended up. Other women, they go into the issues of changing the way they look, which is without a doubt haram in Islam. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with certain beauty. Women now today, they look and they say, well, they'll get breast implants, for example, right? They'll fix their nose. They'll fix their, certain things about their face, nose lift, chin lift, and many other things, liposuction from here and there. SubhanAllah, you are changing the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you. There are other ways that you can take care of your body that are natural, not about making the surgical procedure. We find a perfect example of someone undergoing, these surgical procedures, and look where it ended up. And that is, and of course it's not a girl, but it's a male, which makes it even worse, subhanAllah. Michael Jackson, subhanAllah. How many surgeries did he undergo? How many changes? Why? Because there was a psychological problem. He thought that he should be more white. He thought that he was not happy with who he was. He was not happy because different psychological issues, different aspects have contributed to this idea in his mind that he should change the way he looked. SubhanAllah. The same way our sisters today are following, kind of trotting the same path, that they should be this way, they should be that way. They start changing. Now, what if this trend of beauty changes? And it can change. I guarantee you that what was considered beautiful 20, 30 years ago in the media, in the culture, on TV, in the magazines, it's not what's considered today. And how do you guarantee that what's going to be in 10 years? It's going to be what you are. And you've already changed yourself, so you're going to go for another change? How can you do that to your body? Because your body cannot take that. So where are you going to be left, subhanAllah? How is your body going to feel you're going to grow older? Allah has made beauty in yourself. Real beauty is, subhanAllah, something that is natural. And you will find that person who will consider you to be beautiful. So you don't have to to go through these changes. We know that humans have the need to be accepted, the need to be loved. This is part of the hierarchy of needs. Everyone, needs to be loved. But subhanAllah, imagine the way the media culture, the pop culture, has created the image of what is beautiful and what is, all men like, for example, is something that most women are not. But now most women are trying to make that change. They are trying to migrate towards that, subhanAllah, that view. This is totally wrong. This is a deception that can cause very, 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 deep harms to that sister. So again, sister, you need to think about yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows your beauty and understands what is, subhanAllah, that He created you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you so much. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you that husband who will respect you and will love you for who you are. So have patience. Inshallah, stay tuned. We'll be back after the break talking more about this, kasiyat and ariyat, and about the issues. And we'll address the brothers as well, inshallah, on Sunnah Style. We'll see you in a bit.
Did not have to make it that way, so we need to be ready and prepared. Ramadan is here.
We're only a few sunsets away from the month of change, an opportunity that is given to us only once a year. Take a look at this. Take a look at your future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a very windy and dusty day here. We're about an hour out of Cairo in the middle of the desert. Al-Ikhlas, sincerity. Whether you are alone in the middle of the ocean, in a boat, or on a river, or in a busy city street, your only way to success in this life and the next is through sincerity. Methanol, which is the fuel that is used for rockets, that is placed inside cigarettes, that we're putting into our bodies when we're breaking our fast. Subhanallah. Together, let's plant the seeds of change.
did not have to make it that way, so we need to be ready and prepared.
Welcome back, everyone. Sunnah Style and Huda TV. We're talking about kasiyat and ariyat. Okay, and it's coming from a hadith, a very beautiful hadith about the signs of the Day of Judgment, and about how women will be, that they'll be dressed but not dressed. They will be misguided and misguided, and they will not enter paradise, subhanAllah. And I ask, again, I know that it's a very, very sensitive topic, and it can really push people, subhanAllah, to be like, what should I do? I don't know. I mean, how can you tell me? And I find that I'm beautiful. I should express myself. I feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me in this way. And today you find many people thinking, but we've misunderstood this whole concept. So we talked about the image of the beautiful woman just before the break. And it's accepted based on the certain images that are controlled by someone, by media. And this image can change at any time. It seems that it changes a lot of times with the different products and trends that people want to push, right? So you find that if people want to, subhanAllah, and today you even find that people are using certain products that are, designed for women, for example, who are more, have more weight on, and they'll tend to show a certain image about this, and then in another place will show an image of a certain skinny type of, a woman, and a certain, they'll try to sell a cream, a face cream or something. So, and they'll show a different type of image of a beautiful woman, right? Of what a beautiful woman should look like. So now our sisters are. And they're confused, which way, what way, I want to be like that, I want to be like this, which way can I follow? SubhanAllah, this is a manipulation. It's a very, very, deep misguidance of the sisters, subhanAllah. And they find that they're estranged towards Islam, and they find that they start developing their own trends of Islam, or what the Islamic dress should be, subhanAllah. They say, I want to be fashionable. People will not accept me. I cannot go for a job. How can I look like this when I go outside? And it reminds me of a very beautiful commercial or small series that they do about the shaitan and how he tries to misguide people. And it basically shows his sister trying to go outside, just looking in the mirror, and she's wearing proper hijab, and the shaitan comes to her and tells her, come on, where are you going? You going to a funeral or something like that? Come on, light up a bit, put some color, your friends will think someone died or something like that. And then she'll start slowly putting a little makeup here, slowly showing a little bit of hair there, and then finally shows Shaitan next to her and saying, this looks much better, come on, this is good, right? And this is what it is, subhanAllah. The Shaitan will start slowly whispering and saying, a little bit here loose, little bit there loose, put a little bit of color here, make it a little bit tight there, come on, you have to be in line with, you're still, covered, you're still wearing hijab, subhanAllah. Now, what about the sisters who are not wearing any hijab, subhanAllah? Where are they? Where's the concept of modesty? Where's the concept of haya, the modesty that Prophet ﷺ has put in us and has told us and taught us, especially, subhanAllah, in both brothers and sisters? Where is this? How can you, that beauty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you in order to cover, how can you share it with the rest of the world? These are the sisters who don't cover at all. We find today the culture is, subhanAllah, that the amount of material that some sisters are wearing on their body is equal to the amount of material that some sisters are just using to cover their hair. I mean, subhanAllah, what is this? And sometimes you have them standing next to each other, subhanAllah, what is this? So, do you respect yourself? If you respect yourself, then show it, subhanAllah. You have to show it. Because this should not be a grabs for everyone to see. When we look at the prophetic traditions and the ayats, and we find the image of the real beautiful woman, the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with, we find Maryam and Asya. May Allah be pleased with both of them. Maryam, the mother of Jesus, subhanAllah, the one who kept her chastity, the one who protected herself. How? And she used to protect herself from screening herself, her beauty at the same time, and her chastity. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed her with what? She was special. Allah blessed her with a miracle to be the mother of Isa alayhi salam, the great prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَحْسَنَتْ فَرْجَهَا, she protected her chastity. Asya, another one that is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us an example of her in the Quran. The one who said, "Oh my Lord, build for me a house for you and with you in paradise and in your paradise." Subhanallah. When we analyze their lives, my dear sister, you will find that these women were close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you want to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you want to enter Jannah? Or do you want to be a sign of the day of judgment? These women did not show their beauty to anyone. Today it's a free show for everyone. Everyone can see. These women protected that, subhanAllah. Protected their modesty. Today women actually go to the extent of exposing it. They go to the extent of inviting. They go to the extent of making sure that they'll do certain things and certain movements that they will actually grab more and more attention. And this is something sad. And it might be, subhanAllah, that you are not secure of yourself, of who you are as a person. And it might be, subhanAllah, that the brainwashing that the media have caused by showing this type of image of woman has gotten to you. And don't you have something better to show than this? You are your own person. Your mind, how smart you are, how committed you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't you think people should judge you based on this and not by the size of how you look or this or that or how you move? Subhanallah. So you need to think about that. The issue now that will come is that Muslim sisters are suffering from this. Even the ones who claim who are wearing the hijab. And I know now that I might get in some trouble and some people will be like, "Oh my God, how can you say that I'm wearing hijab?" Well, the modern day hijab that I call the modern day hijab of sisters is, people like sisters will cover their hair and leave everything else for the world. The jeans are tight, you can see everything, and this is where kasiyatun ariyat comes in, okay? Because what does it mean? Is they're covered, but they're not really covered. Subhanallah. And if you look at certain dresses, it's just different color, but it's just skin tight. They call it skin tight, right? Because you can see everything, the shape, how it looks. Subhanallah, it's like, it's a free show, and everyone can taste, everyone can see. This is something that they should be protecting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for their husbands. Now everyone else has seen before your husband. How can you do that? The hijab has become the concept of covering the hair alone. And this is the wrong hijab. Sister will say, "But I'm wearing hijab. I'm wearing hijab. I'm doing this, I'm doing that." And subhanAllah, in some cultures, you find that the skirt is short and she's covering her hair, subhanAllah. And this is totally unacceptable. This is not hijab. The other, shaitan has come and slowly influenced our sisters, the youth, because of this, this acceptance, this dire need of acceptance, of finding acceptance. It has influenced them to just loosen up here and show a little bit of skin there. So you find out the concept of wearing things under the abaya or under the the jilbab that can attract people, that people kind of get an idea. And subhanAllah, this has a very negative impact. And this is where the brothers come in. This is where we are addressing the brother. Because that brother will see, subhanAllah, we ask, we should lower our gaze, but the brother might see, and this is the real deal. People say, lower your gaze, lower your gaze. The real deal is that a lot of people don't lower their gaze. A lot of people have no concept of understanding. So let's deal with the issue as well. But the brother will see and will get that idea of, "Oh my God, how would she look?" Or what is under there? What's going on? How beautiful is she, or something. And the sister sitting there being happy with herself that she has misguided this brother. She has caused that desire to burn in this brother, and that's it. And this causes, subhanAllah, so many things, so many rapes to take place, so many abuses, and so many challenges to the women, to the Muslim women, and women in general, subhanAllah. We find that the women are saying, "Well, I'm just showing my beauty, I'm just, I'm comfortable with who I am." But what about the people who are seeing us? What about the person who doesn't have a wife, for example, or is away from his wife? A person who is in a very difficult situation. What about the psychological impact that you are creating for this person? There are some statistics that show that less than every minute, subhanAllah, sometimes a rape happens or something related to sexual assaults take place in the world, subhanAllah. Imagine that. So we need to think about this rationally. What are we trying to build in our society? What are we trying? What kind of image are you trying? Are you a real woman? Do you want people to judge you just based on how you look? We find that the hijab, the concept now of the abaya, and I want to move down, the belt, just a little bit, let me show a little bit. We find that a few highlights here and there, let me show a little bit here. The convertible hijab, the one that kind of goes back, and when you hear the adhan, you put it back, and so on and so forth. You find the tight, skin hijab. But subhanAllah, these are just all the wrong understanding, hijab. The way they walk, the way they talk, subhanAllah. There's the concept of modesty, laughing loud, let people hear you, let people, look at you, mixing and mingling. All these things are coming across. And the brothers are coming now, subhanAllah, in the picture that, lowering the gaze. This is such hard. The people say, but brother, and many youth have come to me, many brothers have come to me, it's so hard, brother, to lower my gaze. I mean, even if you look on the floor, sometimes you find pictures or something, or if you look on the app, you'll find, different advertisements of women, showing their body. And it's very hard. I understand, subhanAllah, we've all went through these things. Don't think that if I'm sitting here in a lecture, I'm not suffering from this, or people are not suffering. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to lower our gaze. We should try to, subhanAllah, push ourselves to be closer to Allah. We should guard our chastity and our modesty and think that Allah is watching us while we are doing this. I remember a brother of mine, and he says that every time he goes to the masjid for prayer, he goes through literally an area, there's just women all over, Muslim, non-Muslim, everyone. And he says, it's just a struggle to get to the masjid. Just a struggle to get to the masjid. Your mind gets so affected. So don't let this happen. My dear sister, my dear brother, specifically sister, think about it. No wonder we cannot cry for the Quran. No wonder we don't feel moved by the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the Sunnah. Because the things that we see around us, the attraction between the sexes, subhanAllah, is causing our hearts to stray away. Not just that, it's causing us to be bad human beings, to be more like animals, that everything is related to sex. Everything that sells is related to sex. If we want to push, everything has to do somehow with the opposite gender and attraction and so on and so on. So we need to change this view. We need to change the view of who is the successful woman. The image of the successful is not that woman who's on the show, that woman who's on the series. I mean, these are not the real successful people. Those sisters who cover themselves, those sisters who have guarded their modesty, should be the ones who take the forefront of showing the real image of a Muslim woman, of a successful Muslim woman, of a Muslim woman who guards herself, her modesty, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam did. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help our brothers to get through this struggle. Make tawbah. Renew your intentions. Keep fighting this fight. It is a hard fight. Trust me, I know. I am there with you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. Inshallah, we'll see you on the next episode of Sunnah Style. Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The Quran was sent to mankind to guide us all the way to the day where we'll be asked what we did in our life to make it that way. So we need to be ready and prepared.